it's welding time. So we kind of got ourselves a little bit of steel here. All this is going to go into one car except for these. That car is still outside. Don't worry about it. I've read the rules. Rules say I can have 3 by 6 inch plates, so we're just going to cut this right here, install these plates. And I want to get them low enough where I catch the actual factory subframe tie-in. So we're going to cut out this piece right here, but only 3 inches wide. And then we're going to weld this in, and we're going to be right back. This right here is a stock-built car for Ontario rules. So my plans for today is to get these plates on, get a radiator in it, get a hood on it, and then I did order my fuel pressure regulator from Amazon, but unfortunately they sent bolts. So now what we're going to do is we're going to weld these on, and we're going to go from there. So we got a lot of work done to this car today. We got our Buick sensor rims put on, we got our plates welded on either side. We got the hood on, which is nice. Got this transmission fluid updated. Ran a little bit more lines. We're still waiting for the fuel pressure regulator. But realistically, there was not a whole lot left to do to this thing. We cut the holes in the hood for the seat belts and the threaded rod and all that fun stuff. We're just charging the battery right now. But there's nothing else I can really do to this car. I can't do anything until I get the fuel pressure regulator in or anything than that. We have the bumper welded on. We have everything done. We have a radiator in it, rad lines. We just have to fill it with water. But it can't run because there's no regulator. And we have ran it on quick start, so we do know it runs still. But so what we're going to do is we're going to take this car outside and we're going to get the car that all of this plate has to go on. All of this plate has to go on. So what we have to do is we have to move the van, get this car out, and get a different car in here, and we have to move the dog because I had to chain the dog up because he went for a run. So after a little bit of messing around, moving a whole bunch of cars, breaking apart a Cummins engine, we got this thing in here. This thing here is, it's a little beat, but it's okay. It's going to be all plate now. But before we do that, we got to put a bumper on this car because this car here is going to be running in Barrie. I'm going to be running probably figure 8 with it if I don't rent it out next weekend. So it runs like crap. It's rotted. Let's throw a bumper on it. Well guys, we did a little bit of work to it. We put a Caravan rebumper on the front of it. Now I don't know if anybody's going to care, but that is a Caravan bumper. Well, it is a bumper I got off of a Caravan, if you guys want to word it like that. 1.5 by 4 inch plates holding the bumper on, and the rest of the car is 100% bone stock. Just did a little bit of driving there with the figure 8. I was able to turn it around here in my driveway, and this is a lot tighter than any average figure 8 track. I didn't have the speed because this car's brakes are not really the best. But we were able to do it. The only thing we got to do now is put our number on the side of it, and this thing is ready for the figure 8 demolition derby track. And then we got to be working on the other car, and we're going to come up with a game plan on that shortly. So we got this thing all done. I just did break a brake line, so we just got rid of the rear brakes, except for the e-brake still hooked up to the back. But she's here. She's ready to go for this weekend coming up, and hopefully we can go have a great time with this. This car here I got on trade for a Jeep Liberty. There's not a whole lot of information I know about this. Subframe's rotted, car's garbage. Let's go have fun. But let's go take a look at the Camry inside the shop. So, for this car, we are on each side of the frame rail, we are allowed this, these two, that one, and just because I wanted to match that one. So that can all go on this side of the frame. We already have one here. Well, this is a piece that I cut and then welded. I just wanted to keep that pinch weld. So that there can stay. So I think I do have to get rid of this one because I already have a 6x6 on there. But that still leaves all of this. So like I can put this here. I can put my other 6x6 repair plate right there, and then I can put a repair plate back here and conform it to the frame all the way to the firewall. And then I can cut this off, and I can put my new 6-inch piece back here, and I can have that on there. So I think there's a lot that we can do to this. I'm going to leave the sub alone. I think if I plate up the frame enough, the sub will kind of be okay. So I just want to maybe think about this, come up with a game plan, and see what I can do to try to start wire wheeling off some of this undercoating and seeing what we can do. After a little bit of thinking of what we can do and what we're going to do and messaging the promoters, we now have a game plan on how to put all this plate. And I imagine there's some mathematical equation that these guys have done to figure out exactly how much plate needs to go on the front of these cars. And the plate that we're allowed is actually the exact amount of plate that you kind of need. So they are considering this plate right here one of my 6x6 repair plates. Now I can't take this off because this is one of the pre-existing plates, so we are going to leave that. And I've came up with a game plan. It might change, it might not change. I'm not 100% sure as of yet, but we'll see. I kind of want to do some things, and I'm going to see if they will actually allow it 100%, and we'll go from there. So thanks for watching, guys. Tomorrow come back, we'll start taking a wire wheel, we'll clean off all this undercoating, we will cut this brake line off and start getting ready for all of our plate. This will be the most amount of plate I've ever used on a car. I'm really not used to it. My welder's not even used to it because it keeps turning off. Getting pretty hard to weld back here in the wheel well. But we're going to try our best to see how much weld we can actually get done. I'd like to fill this up here above that plate, and I don't know if I'm going to try to fill the bottom or not. That'd be a lot of weld. I'd like to weld all up there, just trying to burn off some of this undercoating. When the undercoating's gone, I can get some pretty nice welds, so we're just going to go from there. But let's get this side try to be done, and then we'll see what it looks like when we get to the other side. This tie rod is bent, but I don't think I'm going to do anything about it. This is a posi car, so it is going to be fairly aggressive when we drive it. And I do want to cut a piece of threaded rod and weld it back into this. So look at all the mud inside this thing. I can't get across the border with all that in there, that's for sure. Ooh, that's hot. I'll have to power wash this to get it across the border. Oh well.